Part 230. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2291. Fang Fanboy. Don't talk nonsense. Am I by Biao that kind of person? Even if I die of starvation, if I jump from here and fall to my death, it is absolutely impossible for me to eat soft food. This has already trampled on my bottom line. Bai Biao held her head high, and while talking, the expression on her face gradually became firm. I didn't expect this guy to be quite confident. Now everything in the dormitory has been settled. Just wait 3 days before the college will be assigned. You all go back and think about it carefully. You can apply for whatever college you think is suitable for you. There is no need to follow the trend too much. Although the God of War Academy is the mainstream, the Priest Academy, Refining Academy, and Research Academy may not be without merit. The key depends on what you think. Fang Fan glanced around, while talking, then nodded silently. From his point of view, these issues are quite critical. I don't care, whichever college my master goes to, I will go to that college. I still want to learn swords from my master. Yan 11, the sword girl of the Tianlang sword sect's Tianjian faction, blinked excitedly, then nodded resolutely and said. At this moment, Fang Fan has infinite admiration in this girl's heart. Fang Fan felt a little headache, it was all done by himself. At this moment, I have blocked my own path. This wave after wave is really too difficult. Fang Fan sighed slightly, and then silently shook his head while speaking. He has a hammer and a sword. It's one thing after another to make a fool of yourself, but if you really talk about swordsmanship, he can't even be considered a rookie. It can be said that it is impossible to use a sword. Looking at the hopeful eyes of the girl in front of him, Fang Fan suddenly felt a lot of guilt. At this moment, this sense of guilt suddenly became stronger again. Now we can only wait until later to discuss these things. Anyway, now this time seems to be quite tricky. I should choose the God of War Academy. I just want to improve my cultivation. As for going to the Priest Academy to be a trainee priest, that's not my wish. Jianzilang Tianya of the Tianlang sword sect's Tianjian faction nodded silently, and then followed suit. Now everyone is talking freely. Which college has more beauties? Suddenly, Bai Biao's eyes lit up, and he said in a thief-like manner. Fang Fan. Everyone. Don't you have any clues about what you look like? What does beauty have to do with you? To be a licking dog? Is there anything you don't know about licking the dog until the end? Actually, if we really want to talk about beauties, I think the Research Institute and the Refining Institute should have the most, especially the Research Institute, where all the little princesses and ladies of various powers with poor cultivation aptitudes come here to be gilded of. Brother Bai Biao, if you have this ambition, then, you can give it a try. It's just a waste of your top 100 ranking. Lang Tianya raised his eyebrows, and then complained to the side. No waste, no waste. No waste at all. My main reason is that I went to the Institute of Research, isn't it the leader of the leaders? At that time, I will go up and down the Research Institute, and I will search up and down, tisk. When I think of the adoring gazes of those watery girls, I will be motivated. Bai Biao took a deep breath, then rubbed his hands together, the perverted expression on his face was self-evident. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2292. The world is hot and cold, and people's hearts are not old. Bai Biao is now completely depraved. This wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? It's too much trouble. Fang Fan curled his lips, and then complained from the side. At this moment, the desire to complain will only become stronger. Fang Fan had already thought about the whereabouts of the heroes and legionnaires, and he packed up and headed to the God of War Academy. On the one hand, the God of War Academy can give the most resources, and the heroes and legionnaires will not use these resources at all, and they will fall into Fang Fan's pocket in the end. On the other hand, a group of heroes and legionnaires can only fight and kill. If you let them go to the Priest Academy to be magic sticks, they will feel aggrieved. It is not realistic to go to the Refining Academy to be an alchemist. Not to mention the Research Institute, they will study with a hammer. So after much deliberation, the God of War Academy is the most reliable. At this moment, although Fang Fan is not sure about his whereabouts, he already has some answers in his heart. Fang Fan's eyes flickered, thinking secretly in his heart. Everyone wandered around Fang Fan's suite for a few times before going back to clean up. Living here on the first day was somewhat novel. Fang Fan stretched his waist, and looked a little tired. I'll go first. Let's have dinner together tonight. Xiao Liyulai stood aside, with her hands crossed together, her face flushed slightly. This little girl just wants Fang Fan to accompany her, but girls, they still can't let go to some extent, this is so normal. Fang Fan smiled silently, stepped forward, and patted her little head lovingly. Okay, I'll call you at night. This is the first time eating in the cafeteria of Guangming Academy. Go and rest first. Fang Fan smiled and said immediately. Generally speaking, the higher the level of cultivator, the more able to insist on not eating for a long time, just inhaling the spiritual energy in the air is enough. Generally, eating is mostly to enjoy the taste sensation brought by the food. On the other hand, some precious ingredients contain a lot of spiritual energy, which is equivalent to the elixir that can improve the cultivation level, and the taste is also excellent, so eating is very important for practitioners. It is also very common. After Xiao Liyulai left, Fang Fan stretched and yawned, ready to take a good rest. I have been doing the assessment for the past few days, and I am really tired. The beauty sent away. Yo, still reluctant to let go. Our Lord Fang Fan is really blessed. As soon as the door was closed, Fang Fan heard a sour sound. I saw Murongyu walking over from a distance, biting his red lips, and glaring at Fang Fan angrily. As soon as Murongyu came out, Fang Fan subconsciously took a deep breath. This woman is absolutely insane. This dress is too bold. Surrounded by thin pink skirts all over her body, with a frown and a smile, a large expanse of fair skin is displayed in front of her eyes. The skin is as thick as fat, and the skin is as frosty as ice. It can be broken by blowing bombs, and the fragrance is tangy. Looming, it seems to be able to glimpse the truth. Fang Fan felt that he was not Lu Xiaowai. With this picture, even if Lu Xiaowai himself came, he might not be able to hold on. Little goblin. Fang Fan scolded with a laugh, and immediately rushed over. Etc. Why are you in such a hurry? Master Fang Fan has so many beautiful blessings, yet he still thinks of me. While talking, Murongyu beat Fang Fan's chest with his fist. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2293. That coquettish posture is unobstructed. Fang Fan exhaled foul breath, and cursed inwardly that this is even more vixen than a vixen. Just when Fang Fan was in full bloom, Murongyu suddenly walked away with a smile. Wait for me to take a shower, then come. Wait for me. Murongyu smiled charmingly, and then walked away. Seeing Murongyu drifting away, the flame in Fang Fan's heart gradually faded a lot. I can't hold on, I really can't hold on. So exciting. Take off directly in all aspects. Fang Fan's eyes flickered, thinking to himself, the smile on his face was vividly displayed. Boom boom boom. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, could it be that someone left something outside? Fang Fan pondered for a moment, then strode forward and opened the door. After opening the door, what appeared in front of him was a young man in a black robe, with a crescent birthmark on his forehead that was very eye-catching. Who are you? Fang Fan frowned. This guy looked familiar, he seemed to have seen it somewhere, but he couldn't remember it. My name is Gisha, I live downstairs, come over to say hello. While talking, Gisha smiled. Seeing that Fang Fan was still puzzled, he continued to add, the Blood Venerable is my master. After seeing the young man say this, I instantly understood. The name Guisha has been seen on the school token rankings before, and it seems to be ranked 4th, so it is normal to arrange to live downstairs with Fang Fan. He mentioned Venerable Blood again, and Fang Fan couldn't help but smile. When he was in the Swifu Square before, Venerable Blood had helped him, so he naturally remembered this kindness. Blood Venerable is from the Fallen World Sanctuary, Fallen World Palace, so this ghost is naturally from the Fallen World Sanctuary, Fallen World Palace. So it's Brother Gisha. I didn't recognize it just now, I'm really sorry. Fang Fan said with a smile that he had seen ghosts at the awards ceremony before, but he didn't pay much attention at that time. He, Brother Fang Fan forgets things so much, I can understand. I've always wanted to get to know Brother Fang Fan, but I haven't had the chance. I've always been curious about how Brother Fang Fan managed to accumulate over 100,000 school tokens in just 2 days. Even though Fang Fan's combat power is unparalleled, it will take a lot of time just to find the monsters in the examination field. I let the 200,000 examiners from the Sanctuary of the Fallen World search for monsters and hunt them together. In the end, the number of school tokens I got did not exceed 20,000. Guisha, the young master of the Fallen World Palace in the Sanctuary of the Fallen World, was speaking, and the look of doubt on his face grew more and more, which was something he couldn't understand. Small tricks, not worth mentioning. It's just a small trick to temporarily attract the surrounding monsters. Fang Fan smiled slightly, speaking very cryptically. It can't be said that he has been fused with the finger of the gods, so his blood contains a trace of the breath of a true god, so those monsters are attracted by the blood on his body. It's good to know this kind of thing yourself, but it's not good if too many people know it. At that time, what if he will be regarded as a Tang monk? Brother Fang Fan is being humble. A small trick can lead the audience, so it seems that we are really useless. Gisha smiled wryly, and then laughed to himself secretly. Standing at the door for a long time, Guisha glanced inside. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2294. It's really not good to turn people away. Come in and talk. Fang Fan invited with a smile. Excuse me. Gisha nodded, and then walked in. As soon as he stepped into it, he immediately said, which academy is Brother Fang Fan going to join? It should be the God of War Academy, right? After all, God of War Academy is suitable for Brother Fang Fan to develop. Actually, the Academy of Priests is also good, and the chances of holding the authority of the temple will be greater in the future. Gisha said without saying a word. It's not confirmed yet, but it should be the God of War Academy. Looking at what Brother Gisha means, it should also be choosing the God of War Academy. Fang Fan smiled, then nodded silently and said. I want to enter the Priest Academy, but I can't. The assessors of my fallen sanctuary were strictly restricted from the beginning, and they were not allowed to enter the Priest Academy, saying that our beliefs were not pure. Gisha shrugged and said helplessly. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, but he didn't think about it. By the way, Brother Fang Fan, we will gather at the tower of the academy in 3 days. Does Brother Fang Fan know why? Gisha smiled secretly, as if he knew something inside. Fang Fan shook his head. He was basically completely ignorant of these messages. At that time, our performance in the tower of the academy will be seen by the instructors of the various colleges. In other words, it's about our selection of mentors. You know, there are still some extremely powerful tutors in the school. These tutors may not even be able to recruit a student every year. If they don't like it, I would rather not recruit any of them this time. If we can build on this relationship and obtain its true inheritance, it will be great. Brother Fang Fan, you should be clear that although cultivation is a personal matter, if we can find a good mentor, it will definitely save us countless hard work. Gisha's eyes flickered for a while, but he hesitated to speak. Brother Gisha means that you are preparing to perform well in the tower of the academy. Brother Gisha's ability, it seems that there is no need for this. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, with a puzzled look on his face. Of course it is necessary. Although I am a 4-star sanctuary, I am not the only one who exists in the 4-star sanctuary. Basically, all major forces can have 1 or 2 shocks. Everyone is gone, how can I be favored by those top mentors by then? According to my strength, I can naturally find a mentor at the level of a saint, but there are also many gaps between mentors at the level of a saint. What I mean is, when the time comes, I will be able to form an alliance with Brother Fang Fan. The two of us will work together. At that time, together with your elite and my brothers from the sanctuary of the fallen world, we will clear out all the cultivators from other forces. At that time, we will be the focus of the audience. Ghosts gradually try to see each other. I didn't expect this guy to look amiable, but he still has so many evil ideas in his heart. I still want to challenge everyone. Just the two of us. Are you sure you didn't find anyone else? Fang Fan's mind moved slightly, and the strange look on his face became more. This year's Guangming Academy has a lot of students. Inner Palace students plus Outer Palace students, but a total of 16,000 people. There are only 100 people on Fang Fan's side. As for Guisha's Fallen Sanctuary, there are less than 1,000 people shortlisted. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2295. Even if the two families are brought together, there are only 1,000 people. I can only command a third of the troops in the sanctuary of the fallen world, about 300 people. The others have nothing to do with me. Gisha said very frankly. Obviously, the sanctuary of the fallen world is not monolithic. That is to say, the practitioners of our two families add up to 500 people. 500 versus more than 10,000. Where did you get your confidence? Fang Fan suddenly laughed. This guy is full of confidence. Is there really no compulsion in this heart? What is the specific situation? I really don't know. If I were alone, I really wouldn't have much confidence. Isn't there more Brother Fang Fan now? From the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you. Gisha smiled, then stepped forward and patted Fang Fan on the shoulder and said. Fang Fan's expression froze. Can you stop talking so weirdly? Okay. It's not good for others to hear it, it's really not good. Seeing Gisha's confident appearance, Fang Fan really has no idea. At that time, we can't let the Low Heavy Machine Gun Corps and the Goth Sanctuary Sharpshooter Corps solve it directly, right? If he really did this, I'm afraid Shui Wanren, the Deputy Palace Master of Guangming Academy, will leave violently in the next moment. So when the time comes, you can only go up with your bare hands. If at that time, hundreds of people face more than 10,000 people. Thinking about that picture makes me shudder. Aren't you afraid of being surrounded and beaten? I'm really not as strong as you think. I'm just a pinnacle quasi-sage with very weak combat power. Fang Fan reminded him sincerely. Weak. If you are weak, all the freshmen in Guangming Academy can jump off the building. How weak can someone who can kill the 4-star sanctuary realm Brahma Palace's son Fanming, who has awakened the blood of a demigod, be so weak? Gui Sha pouted, not believing it at all. You say you are weak, so do you think if I fight with you, who will win and who will lose? Gisha suddenly followed his eyes and continued to speak. This. If I play all my cards. Insta-kill. Fang Fan said solemnly. Gisha. Don't bring such a slap in the face. You haven't answered my previous question, what if you are besieged? If I can kill them all, I'm sure I'll kill them all. But this is in the Guangming Academy, and obviously their lives cannot be hurt. Under such circumstances, facing so many iron fists, do you think you can do it? Fang Fan glanced at Gui Sha. Why is this guy even more beautiful than Bai Piao? Don't worry, the possibility of siege is not too great. The arrogance of the major powers is more arrogant than the other. Can they unite? It's not bad if they don't kill each other. At that time, the two of us will work together, and we only need to clean them up slowly, and they will be cleaned up soon. At that time, the tutors in the school will naturally only be able to watch our performance. At that time, we will not need to compete at all. Those top tutors will naturally come to look for us. This is also an opportunity. But you must grasp it. The resources and contacts possessed by top tutors are beyond our imagination. In the future, we will be able to walk sideways in the academy. Basically, the stronger the mentor's network, the more open our path after graduation will be in the future. Gisha smiled, and had already figured out all of this clearly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2296. Fang Fan glanced around Gisha with a strange gaze. This guy also came to the Guangming Academy recently. Even before that, the Guangming camp and the Fallen Sanctuary were still the most obvious hostile relationship. How did he know so much? How much inside information? Fang Fan groaned, feeling more and more surprised. There is something tricky here. By the way, why don't we go out for a stroll? There is also an arena in the school, let's go play. I want to see how strong someone can be favored by my master Blood Venerable. Gisha geared up and said excitedly. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and suddenly thought of something. Murong Yu is still with him. No wonder I always felt that there was something that I didn't pay attention to before, but now I fully remember it. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, and the melon seeds in his head exploded. Why bother? For it. This, I still have something to do, how about we discuss it in the future? Brother Gisha, it's not too late. Fang Fan took a deep breath, now he can only bite the bullet and drive people away. No way, brother Fang Fan, just now we were chatting like glue, so you want to drive me away. You have just entered the school, so you will start to hide your beauty in the golden house, right? Yo. Look at your expression, it's really like this. Who is it? Which little princess has this blessing? I remembered, when you were on the awards stage, there were two little beauties standing by your side all the time, looking at their eyes, it was obvious that they were interested in you. Let me guess who it is. A look of excitement suddenly appeared on Gui Sha's face. This guy's heart for gossip is indeed quite strong. One wave after another, what kind of trouble do you want? Fang Fan's face darkened, and his desire to complain became particularly strong. Creak. While the ghost was roaring, the door of the bathroom was suddenly pushed open, and then Murong Yu in a bathrobe came out. All over her body, She was wrapped in an oversized bathrobe. The calf and collarbone were exposed, and a burst of fragrance followed. The scene once seemed particularly embarrassing. In fact, according to Murongyu's strength, it is very easy to perceive whether there is one more person outside, but because it is in Fang Fan's dormitory, he is too complacent, so he doesn't care about these things, and only wants to achieve good things with Fang Fan. This wave, lore. Guisha's mouth gradually opened wide, as if it could fit a goose egg. You are Mentor Murong? The beautiful tutor of Guangming Academy, the first-level tutor. Why are you here? Gisha's mind was a little dazed. At this moment, the melon seeds in his head were flipping rapidly, and his whole body was completely dazed. Is brother Fang Fan so awesome? Just after entering the school, she got the famous beautiful tutor of the school, and she is also a first-level tutor. Looking at the appearance, it was obvious that he was bathing in it just now. After taking a bath, they wear a bathrobe, and the relationship between them is already clear at a glance. Gisha didn't dare to think about it anymore, it was too exciting. In addition to stimulation, there is also strong envy and jealousy. Brother Fang Fan is so happy. Cough. Would you believe me if I said that Master Murong just came to take a shower? There's something wrong with the water supply in her dormitory. Fang Fan said silently from the side with a dark face. I believe, of course I believe it. I understand everything. Mr. Murong continues to take a bath. Brother Fang Fan, I'm leaving first, I remember what happened 3 days later. Cough, don't overwork yourself. Gisha showed a cheap smile on his face, and then hurried away. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2297. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, this guy definitely did it on purpose. No matter what, the relationship between him and Murongyu should not be exposed too much in a short time. Brother Gisha, after all, it is related to the reputation of Instructor Murong, so, you understand. Fang Fan's eyes were focused on Gisha, and there was a special light in his pupils. Brother Fang Fan, who does he think I am? Gisha, am I the kind of bitch who likes to gossip? Don't worry, I know what's in my heart. Guisha chuckled, and then left with a strange face. After Guisha left, Murongyu stepped forward and closed the door. Are you so afraid that others will know about our relationship? Or, my existence has delayed you from picking up girls? How cute are those immature little lolitas? Murongyu gave Fang Fan a blank look, and then complained from the side. This woman is now talking about these things at every turn. A woman is a good woman, but she comes here to be jealous from time to time, she's really not very well behaved. I did all this for the sake of the reputation of Teacher Murong. Instructor Murong will still teach at Guangming Academy in the future. If word of our relationship gets out, it doesn't matter if I have a thick skin. I'm afraid that Instructor Murong will be accused by everyone. Do you think I'm willing? A wicked smile appeared on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth. As he spoke, he directly bullied him. On the surface, Murongyu pretended to be extremely serious, but in fact, those eyes had already pierced through the autumn water. The sound of inhaling at this moment gradually became extremely real. Snort. There's nothing to be reluctant about. Don't hide it. The cover-up is the truth. Just now, even that ghost knew that you were followed by 2 delicate and lovely little princesses. What's the matter? Which one did you like? Would you like me to help you pursue it? Murongyu said sourly from the side. Are you jealous again? What do you say you are eating this dry vinegar for? Fang Fan curled his lips, and then complained from the side. If it's just you, can you bear it? I'm also thinking about your body. Fang Fan held his head high, and while talking, The sarcasm on his face became more and more. What should be expressed to the end. You. Shameless. Mirangu rolled her eyes, her complexion turned red involuntarily. How could she not know what Fang Fan was talking about? Although it is indeed difficult for her to bear all of Fang Fan's favors by herself, how could she have the nerve to say such a thing? This guy is getting more and more assholes. Mirangu gritted his teeth, and silently slandered in his heart. You can't be this strong every time. I don't believe it, you can really keep doing this. Mirangu glared at Fang Fan, and then began to issue a challenge. Then, try. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then pulled Mirangu into the small world of Shushan Pavilion. 5 hours later, Fang Fan stood there excitedly, his eyes flickering with excitement. Mirangu at the side felt that his whole body was already soft. You are simply a pervert. Mirangu groaned a few times, and then complained deeply from the sidelines. Normal people, how could this be the case? Fang Fan stretched his waist, feeling a little satisfied. Not just physically, but mentally. Men generally need some strong sense of satisfaction in those areas, and this seems very real from beginning to end. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2298. After that, Fang Fan and Mirangu continued to stay in the small world of Shushan Pavilion for a period of time. More than 20 hours passed in a blink of an eye, but the outside world only passed 2 hours. 10 times the time flow rate of the world of Shushan Pavilion is simply not too strong. Is this going? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, sniffed the bursts of fragrance coming from the surroundings, and his eyes shone with a special light. What else can I do if I don't go? Aren't you going to have a sweet dinner with your little Liulai at night? I can't make room for you. Although Mirangu still had a sour feeling when speaking at the moment, he no longer had that sense of tit for tat. People are happy and refreshed. When the body and mind are relaxed, the expressiveness will naturally be different. Fang Fan nodded silently, the various feelings in his heart seemed very real. By the way, if you have time, join the various clubs in the academy. This is good for your development in the academy. Currently, the Guangming Society and the Tiandao Society are the best developed within the school. Both of these two associations contain people from the 4 major academies, so it can be regarded as a comprehensive association. The Guangming Society and the Tiandao Society have been fighting all year round, but they are on par. The Guangming Society mainly gathers the examiners of the major temples. Several of the main figures and the descendants of the bloodlines of the first-class Guangming Alliance temples are not easy to offend. As for the Tiandao Society, it's a mixed bag. There are also some first-class examiners from the Temple of the Light Alliance, but most of them are examiners from the various forces in the major sanctuaries. It's like a hodgepodge. In my opinion, you'd better join the Guangming Society, which will be more beneficial to your future development in the temple. If you can gain a certain prestige and background in the Guangming Society, you can rely on these connections after graduation in the future. Wait until the promotion in the Temple of the Alliance of Light is smooth. But according to what I know about you, you definitely wouldn't choose the Guangming Society. While talking, Mirangu made a prediction from the side. It seems that Fang Fan knows quite well. Fang Fan chuckled, and then said, "Why do you think so? I've always been mercenary. If it's profitable, it's not impossible to eat soft food." Fang Fan turned over and looked at Mirangu like this, his eyes flickering brightly. "You hurt me." Mirangu clenched his silver teeth, then opened his mouth and bit Fang Fan's chest viciously. "This woman is really a dog, she is too ruthless." "Humph. You said you want to eat soft rice. From then on, I will support you, and you are not allowed to go out to make trouble. Can you do it?" Mirangu turned to stare at Fang Fan and said. After all this, it brings me to this topic again. Fang Fan felt dizzy for a while, then he shrugged helplessly and said, I'm really not messing around, I'm just carrying out my plan. As for my charm and attraction, can you blame me? This charm is innate and cannot be changed. Fang Fan sighed, while talking, his eyes shone with a different kind of light, such a feeling seemed very real. Really? Still as shameless as before? Forget it, I won't be poor with you. Anyway, remember, just find a club to join as much as possible. The relationship chain in the school is very complicated. Especially new recruits like you are often targeted for suppression. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2299. Murong Yu took a deep breath, and then said approvingly from the side. This can be regarded as an early wake-up call. Fang Fan nodded, indicating that he understands that these things usually have a way to the front of the mountain, so there is no need to worry too much. By the way, we will be selecting a mentor in the tower of the academy in a few days, will you be there then? How about I choose you as a mentor? You cover me. Let me graduate smoothly. Fang Fan lay on Murong Yu's white legs, smelling the fragrance, and then made a suggestion from the side. Don't mess around. I'm just a first-level tutor, not a strong tutor in the academy. With your qualifications, you should at least find a super tutor. At that time, choosing a high-quality tutor can help you too much. It's not just contacts. More senior tutors will have higher school resources at their disposal. Anyway, it will be of great benefit to your studies in the academy. Murong Yu quickly followed up and reminded, looking at her like this, it seems that if Fang Fan chooses her as a mentor, she will choose to refuse. In addition to the amount of related resources, Murong Yu is more concerned about the name of master and apprentice. Although she is now the tutor of Guangming Academy and Fang Fan is a student of the academy, there is not much involvement between them, at most it is just a title. But if Fang Fan really recognized her as a mentor, then it would be a real master-student relationship. How will they be happy together then? Thinking of that scene, Murong Yu felt inexplicably terrified. Although there is indeed a little excitement, it is more of a sense of ethical exclusion. Fang Fan smiled slightly, but he didn't expect Murong Yu to react so strongly. By the way, is there any place in the academy where I can earn star cores? Or, is there any auction house around here? Fang Fan's heart is still to return Yan 11's 30 billion low-grade star cores to her. If the star core belongs to Yan 11, it doesn't matter if you are slow. The key is that the star core belongs to Yan 11's master. You can't pretend to be stupid if you borrow someone else's star core. Earn star core. Didn't you just get a reward of 1 billion low-grade star cores? You still have 100,000 credits. Run out. What? How many women have you raised outside? Is it so expensive? Every word Murong Yu said had a profound meaning. While she was talking, her expression seemed a little out of place. Fang Fan shrugged helplessly, this woman's association ability is really too strong. Anyway, just define him as a scumbag. This is what Murong Yu thought in his heart from the beginning to the end. Fang Fan said that it was really difficult for him. No. Because of an urgent need, I borrowed a little star core from others, so I plan to earn it back to make up for this shortfall. Fang Fan shrugged, there was nothing to hide. How much difference? Murong Yu lay in Fang Fan's arms, and asked directly. What do you mean? You want to pay me back? Let me tell you, Fang Fan, are not the kind of people who eat soft food. Even if I die of poverty and starvation, it is absolutely impossible for me to take your star core. Fang Fan's posture is very full, and he looks like he has high ambitions. Is 100 billion enough? There are exactly 100 billion in this storage ring, you can use it. Mirongyu waved his hand, and immediately handed over a storage ring. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2300. It smells so good. Fang Fan's gaze towards Mirongyu gradually changed. Isn't this woman too proud? Can you be a little more low-key? Fang Fan took a breath, and stretched out his right hand unnaturally. Hundreds of billions in an instant. As for self-esteem, you can put it aside for the time being. Where did you get so many star cores? Is the tutor allowance of Guangming Academy so high? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and the stunned expression on his face became more and more. It's not all thanks to you. Mirongyu rolled his eyes, and while talking, he said with emotion from the side. Thanks to me. Fang Fan was even more confused. Yeah, it was originally 10 billion. When you were fighting against the cultivators of Fanhai Palace in the examination field, there was a gamble set up outside. The odds were 1 to 10. I bet 10 billion, and then it changed, it's 100 billion. How is it? Is it enough to support you? Mirongyu lay on Fang Fan's body, and breathed out like blue as he spoke. Cough. Let's not talk about this kind of thing. I'll borrow your 30 billion low-grade star core first, and you take the remaining 70 billion. I only have 30 billion in arrears outside. Fang Fan smashed his mouth, and then delivered the remaining star cores to Mirongyu. To eat soft rice, there must be some scale. It's true to eat soft food hard, but don't go too far. 3 billion. Who did you borrow 30 billion from? Is there anyone else who wants to throw money at you besides me? Say. Which little vixen is it? A light flashed in front of Mirongyu's eyes, and while he was talking, his eyes instantly became treacherous. Fang Fan shrugged, with a helpless look on his face. It was too difficult. This is why I was forced to ask. You don't know her name is Yan 11. Fang Fan replied casually. Yo. The little princess of the Tianlang sword sect. He is really generous. He borrows 30 billion at every turn, this kind of friendship is really deep. While talking, Mirongyu hummed twice. Fang Fan's eyes flickered, he knew it would be like this. It was an emergency, so she lent me. Don't talk nonsense, 11ER is my apprentice, she called me master. Fang Fan quickly followed up and argued, don't make a split in the relationship. 11ER. It's so kind. You haven't called me that before. Also, how did you become her master? He said it wasn't premeditated. Mirongyu snorted, and stared at Fang Fan like that, as if to say that I had seen through you a long time ago. Turns out, talking to women really doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense at all. This wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? Can I be a little more normal? Just look at that jealous look, jealous woman. Cough. You are, good boy. Fang Fan gritted his teeth and shouted. I don't know why, it's okay when I call Yan 1111ER, but when I call Mirongyu you are, Fang Fan suddenly has a strange feeling. Look at how unwilling you are. Forget it, I won't force you. I didn't stop you from spending time and drinking outside, but you must have a place for me in your heart. Otherwise, I'll bite you to death. While Mirongyu was talking, he opened his mouth and bit Fang Fan's neck viciously. Fang Fan felt pain for a while, this woman is too cruel.